Okay.
Hey, welcome to, we're going to show you today with SmokeM's barbecue how we make our Applewood recipe for the pulled pork barbecue. For this recipe you need one beer, and today we're using the Grill Mates. I don't know if you want to, can you zoom in on this? The Grill Mates Applewood rub has a flavor like you would not believe. Want to just talk real quick about the difference between a bone-in and no bone. What they call the picnic butt, and we've got the pork butt here, pork butt roast, and the picnic butt doesn't have the bone in it. And I was talking to a friend of mine, they said, oh, we never get the one with the bone because it comes off so hard, and they have problems trying to get it off the bone. So what we've done is I just said to them, you're just cooking it the wrong way. Because when we get done cooking this, you're going to see we'll just grab the side of the bone and it pulls right out and there's not a slick of meat on it. That's the way you want it, and that's the way we're going to do it. So again, we're going to start with our rub just for tonight. We're going to let this marinate overnight. And put your rub on good and thick. And you wouldn't believe the smell. If you haven't had the opportunity to try this stuff yet, you are surely missing out. And you can always find it in any store, because it's a pretty generic commercial rub. We're experimenting with all the different rubs out there, and it's pretty hard to beat the taste of this one rub right here. It's important though, and you'll see how we do this on the recipes. Save yourself some rub, because you're going to need a little bit of the extra rub for later, after it's cooking, done cooking. Any pockets you got, just go ahead and load it up in there. If the back's real fatty, go ahead and trim it off, because I trimmed it off earlier. So what we'll do is we're just going to get this, again, a real good coat of rub, because that's what makes it just so good. Alright, that is all we're going to do for this one. We're going to let it sit in the fridge just like this. We'll put a paper towel over it, maybe cover it like that. But we're not going to do anything else to it, and that's good. We'll see you tomorrow morning. It's the next day after we've done, and the birds are out there going. Next day, you know, I mentioned last night that you needed a beer and the marinade and everything else. The beer was for you, but when you put it on the grill, you're going to need coffee, because you got to do it early. So I just want to go through some of the supplies that you're going to need if you want to pan the camera down here. We've got our wood chunks, lump charcoal that we're using today. You can see our wood chunks that we actually stuck in the water last night. So what we're going to do now, we're going to start, get yourself a chimney. If you've got a little chimney, stick a ball, 2 or 3 things of newspaper up underneath of it. Put it on your thing, on your grill. So full in there. And get another bag. This stuff's cheaper than charcoal, burns longer than charcoal, never has any petroleum smell to it. This is good stuff. So once you get all your stuff in there, just leave it. You got it going?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, while I get the charcoal going, look at the roast. We only did the, if you can zoom in on these, we only did the Applewood rub one the other night, but you can see we got another one here, and I don't know if you can tell the color on that. Get it over here in the light a little bit. It's a beautiful yellow. It's a sweet mustard, hot spicy mustard, sweet all together, vinegar, good rub on that one. Then we've got some apple cider, because what we're going to do, I want a pan over here, you need your drip pans. So what we're going to do, in the pan that has the Applewood, we're just going to put about a cup, maybe a little bit more, of apple cider in there, and you wouldn't believe the moisture that this is going to bring into your pulled pork. and we actually even inject it. We'll inject that a little bit later, and you will get some of the juiciest pulled pork that you've ever had. So we'll be back after the charcoal is ready. Hang tight. All right, here's our charcoal. We're going to go ahead and throw this on. Woo-wee. Always make sure to use some gloves when you do that. And it's easier to mess around with the coals after that. So you can see we just got a little bit of coals going. And then on top of that, we're just going to throw some more. Alright.
You might want to mention our grill, what we got.
Yep. And this grill that we're using here today is just I'll close it down. You buy this at Lowe's or anywhere else, it's just a char griller. It says professional char griller, but this just shows to show you that anybody can do this on any grill, and we're going to show you how to do it on this grill. Alright, so we're going to let it come up to temperature real quick before we throw the meat on, but I want to point out the pans. We put apple juice in the back one and apple cider in the front one because this is going to be used for our marinade. So we're just going to put on the racks that I cleaned off earlier and sprayed with Pam. So put the racks on, let your grill get up to temperature anywhere above 225, and we'll be back with you in a minute when we throw them on. Go. Alright, we got the temperature. It's hard to focus in on this, but we got the temperature up to about 225 right now. So 225, 275 is all we're going to keep it. Another important part is get yourself a great, good, you know, it doesn't even have to be a great, but a good digital thermometer. Don't ever, you know, the 20 minutes per pound or anything else, don't go by that. You go by temperature only. If you want that bone to slide out and pull out, it's all about the right temperature, which at 175 is when we pull it off the grill, wrap it in foil, and bring it up to 195, 200, and at that point we'll let it rest for at least an hour. So you can see we got our coals going on now, and our pans have the apple juice and the apple cider in it. So we're going to come over here and look at this. Here's the first one. My goodness, you cannot believe the smell that is coming off of this thing. So we're going to put this on, that side down. So there we go, right up there. That looks good. Oop, wrong one. We're having this one over the apple cider, so we can create an au jus, if you will, for our injection. And then you can see our second one right there. It lights a little bit better. Again, you can see we went heavy on the rub because there's no reason not to. It's cheap. Pork cheap. So put it fat side up. The bone facing the grill. Alright. It's important. We are going to smoke this for the next 4 hours solid. The most important thing is if you want to really get that smoke ring in there, you've got to smoke it heavy for the first 4 hours. After you wrap it in foil, there's no more smoke, so you don't even need to worry about it. You can see our wood. We've had the wood soaking overnight. So we'll just take a handful of it. And for the wood, we've got apple chips, hickory chunks, and cherry chunks. So we're getting kind of a mix of it all. So we will check in with you in about 30 minutes to an hour after these have been sitting on there. See you soon. Okay. All right, we're just checking in with you. You can see all this, the nice blue smoke coming out of it. This is how it should be. It's holding temperature about 250, 255. You can see, let me come in here. See, we got our wood on that side. And just look at the smoke that's creating on this side. That's the smoke we want for the next 4 to 5 hours. Check back with you in a minute. Go. All right, meat's been on about an hour and a half now. So what we're going to do is, you know, there's some people that say, just put it on there and leave it alone. We're not one of those people. So we have the bottle of apple juice. And about every 30 minutes, we're going to spray the stuff down, both of them. These are looking good. So again, this will just keep the moisture in it, and then all of it drops down into the dripping pan. And we need to throw some more smoke on there. Oh. And we'll check back in about an hour. Okay. All right, it's about 10:45 in the morning, so these have been on for about, what, 4 hours? You can see our internal temperature, I don't know if you can get in on that, is about 140 right now. At 170, that's where we're gonna put it in foil. Still gonna cook it up to 195, but let's see how they look after 4 hours. That is how they should look. About every 30 minutes, we've been spraying them down with apple juice. Just some apple juice and water, spraying both of them down. This is the Applewood one, and then this is the sweet mustard vinegar one. And they're just looking so good. You don't have to have them burnt. Some of them, a lot of them, you see them burnt, but you know, don't burn them. Get them to the right color you want, and then really at that point you can wrap them. You can put them in the oven. Even at this point right now, we could take them off the grill. We've got enough smoke in them. We've been smoking them for 4 hours. So if we wanted to, we could wrap it and put it in the oven. Put it on the gas side, which is what we're going to do to actually finish it off. But this is how they should look right now, 4 or 5 hours into it. Be back with you. All right, we've taken it off. You can see we've taken it off of the smoking side. There's no more need to smoke it anymore because we have now wrapped it. And just for ease of cooking, if you want to keep using charcoal, you can, and you can keep it on the charcoal. You can put it in the oven at this point. We've just chosen to put it over on the gas side because we're going to go inside and watch some football. And we're going to let this get up to about 195. And once it hits to 195, we'll see you again. Actually, we're going to let it rest. Once it hits 195, we're going to let it rest for a minimum of 1 hour. And then we'll see you back for the great pulling. All right, so now we've been cooking it for 12 hours. And this is the result right here. And like I said earlier about the bone, when you talked about the bone, you can see you just take the bone and you just shake it and pull it right off, and look at that. I mean, the meat just comes right off the bone. And that's how it should be. So you take the bone, just pull the stuff right off of that. Look at that. If all your meat stays off the bone just like that, that's exactly how you want it. So what we're going to do then now, put them in there, take all your juice, put it in there too. Put this off to the side. We're going to do that. We're going to do it with both of those. Then you just take some forks or some bear claws and just start ripping it apart. The best pulled pork you will ever have. Look at all the juice in the bottom, the flavoring. This is the the mustard vinegar based one. And this will be the Applewood one back there. And that's it. Pulled pork barbecue at its finest. See you next time.